Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to American Fork. This is KSL Rewind live on a Thursday night. Joined with me to call this 6A Region 3 matchup is Brian Brown. How are we doing this evening, Brian?
Nate, never better than when I'm at a football field for a Thursday or a Friday night. Doesn't matter. We've got a fun inter-region contest tonight. Another home game here for American Fork. I have a feeling that we're going to get a good one tonight.
Yeah, it should be exciting. The Cavemen come into this matchup 3-5 on the evening. Coming from across the county is the 2-6 Westlake Thunder. How do we see this playing out tonight, Brian?
Well, it's two teams that are really trying to establish themselves in the region hierarchy. For Westlake, a young squad. They've experienced some injuries this season, really trying to build a culture and identity. For an American Fork, it's a team that is trying to rebuild on the fly. They started off the season with a shootout, losing to Corner Canyon, and since then they've gone up and down as they've entered into region play, and I think tonight is a good opportunity for them to level up and climb that region ladder.
Yeah, it should be exciting for both sides of the ball. Both teams coming in feeling like they have a chance. A unique Thursday night football game in American Fork. Bands playing. Teams are riled up. We got some big bodies in the powder blue. That should be exciting for us to watch tonight.
Yeah, like I said, this Westlake team is young, but they have a ton of talent. We're not going to see Ashton Taylor tonight, the sophomore running back. He's out for the season with a shoulder injury, but what we will see is we'll see plenty of quarterback Brighton Balser, and he will be looking to find his targets on the outside. One especially that I love to point out, that's Jackson Lattimore. I think he's one of the more underrated wide receivers in the state. But before we get to that Westlake offense, we're going to see their defense against this American Fork offense, and that defense is led by a ton of good players, really. Everyone from Nusi Taumaipeau to Sale Fano.
Yeah, Fano, a popular name in the state right now.
Yeah, Sale Fano committed to BYU. He's going to go play for the Cougars this year. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Beckham Featherstone as well. A lot of big bodies for this Westlake defense.
The kickoff is away, looking like it's going to be soaring deep into the end zone for a touchback for the powder blue Westlake Thunder. We get a chance to see the Cavemen offense come out with David Gaisford Jr., the quarterback, senior quarterback, leading this team down the field.
And Gaisford really is the match for this offense, the starter, if you will, for the motor that is American Fork. It's a great quarterback, been waiting and biding his time for a few years now and is able to take over as a starter as a junior. He's taken some lumps, but I think we're going to see a really breakout performance from him tonight.
In the gun, drops back to pass, quickly wings it out into the flat. And that is a catch by David Dean, number 80, bringing it in for a quick 10 yards.
Yeah, and this is an American Fork offense that likes to throw the ball. They average over 288 passing yards per game, and they have a really good wide receiving core. You see early on, getting Gaze for the simple completion for a first down.
Weather is still nice. We're sitting at a balmy 72 degrees this evening as the sun sets, man in motion. Gaisford hands it quickly off to the running back. Breaking tackles, getting up the side of the field, and another 11-yard gain for the American Fork Cavemen.
And that will be the matchup to watch. I think it's this American Fork offensive line against that Westlake defensive front. You'll see number 11, Nusi Taumaipeau. It's a D1 commit to Stanford, if I'm not mistaken. Beckham Featherstone, another D1 level guy. How does this American Fork unit perform against a very strong and stout Westlake front?
Yeah, still pushing up the field. Some smoke from the cannon on the entrance, still clearing off the field. Gaisford drops back to pass, goes across the middle. Number 2, Tate Wilkinson hauls it in, and another chunk play here for the Cavemen.
Yeah, and just great protection. You see them open up that B gap throwing lane. Gaisford finds that number 2, Kate Wilkinson, in stride, and that's an easy pickup. And right now, American Fork is rolling, Nate.
Yeah, this far into the season, they're finally clicking, looking like all the hard work is paying off right now. Gaisford again in the gun. Takes a snap, quick handoff to Prince Afu, splits the C's, going right up the middle, gets taken down at the knees by the cornerback. Another 15-yard gain for the Cavemen.
It's just a simple inside handoff, but Afu finds the hole immediately, gets upfield, and that's an explosive running play. It's rare that you see those big chunk plays. When we talk about offensive drives, those explosive 15-yard or more plays are critical in sustaining drives.
Yeah, every play so far being successful. A little bit of a jump. No call there as the Cavemen look to the sideline. A 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Handoff to Afu on the outside. Bounces out and is met at the sideline by the Westlake defense.
Yeah, better job there. The Westlake defense of stringing it out just a little bit, using the sideline as an extra defender as Afu just runs out of space. And for Westlake tonight, I think this is a program that really has struggled to build culture and build an identity in the region. And for them defensively, that's where they've hung their hat all season. If you can get a stop here on this drive, that would be a monumental push to staying in the fight for this game.
Yeah, man in motion for the trip side. Gaisford surveys the field. Deflected pass there by, I believe that's number 11, Nusi, able to break that up. Great read there by Westlake defense again. Warming up on bodies not used to be playing on Thursday night, Brian.
Yeah, short week for these younger kids, and yeah, the bodies can respond, but sometimes it's the mind that you wonder if it's going to be sharp. And you see why Nusi Taumaipeau is so highly touted. Able to rush the quarterback, drop back in coverage. He's a very versatile athlete and gets the PBU in that one.
Got a close bunch to the wide side of the field. Lots of men going in motion for American Fork. Gaisford surveys deep, has a man on the post route, not able to connect.
And he's number 11 on your rosters, but he might be number 1 in the hearts of Westlake fans because Nusi Taumaipeau on the pressure again. We've seen a clean pocket so far with Gaisford. That was the first throw where he was really rushed, and you could see what happened as he overthrows the receiver just a little bit there.
Yeah, great read there, Brian. Seeing that pocket collapse is never exciting as a quarterback.
As a former offensive lineman, I'll tell you, it's the same for us.
Yeah, you'll hear an earful from that one. We do have the kicking team out. Lewis Connect line up from the 35-yard line to punch this in. Kicks it, never in doubt. Cavemen will take a 3-point lead.
That's a big kick from Connect as it's almost a 45-yarder. Good with plenty of room to spare. And for the Cavemen, 3 early points. That's a nice start for them. For the Westlake defense, give some credit to the boys in powder blue. They stood up and stood tall on that one, able to hold what was a really explosive Caveman offense to just 3 points.
Yeah, Cavemen, Westlake doing what they needed to do to stall out this offense, keep them out of the red zone. Starts first time seeing the kickoff team for the Cavemen. We will see Lewis Connect out to kick this ball off after he put the ball through the uprights. Back to return, looks like could be number 7, Peyton Love. Connect boots this one, never a doubt, into the end zone, and we get to see Balzer and the Thunder offense take the field.
Yeah, this is an offense that's really struggled to find an identity. Mentioned Ashton Taylor at the beginning of the broadcast. The sophomore running back was starting to help them establish things, but really it's going to be on the shoulders of Brighton Balser tonight. He needs to step up and find his receivers early. Look for them to use the width of the field a lot, meaning a lot of bubble screens and line of scrimmage type throws, just ways to keep that American Fork defense at bay. And I think we're going to have an offsides early on. Well, it looks like we're going to call false start instead.
Yeah, it looks like the right tackle deep in his stance, over his toes a little bit, eager to get off the ball and be pushed back 5 yards. 1st and 15 for the Thunder offense, breaking the huddle and back to the line.
And not exactly a desirable situation to put your offense in 1st and 15 here, but
balls are quick handoff. Cavemen swarming in the backfield. Tackle for loss for the defense.
And you can see why the tackle may have tried to leave just a little bit early. This Caveman defense swarming to the football. They don't exactly have the stars in years past that we've seen. There's no Hunter Clegg. There's no Davis Andrews. But this defense has evolved and grown a lot since the start of the season.
Cavemen coming out in a 3-3 stack. Tough for the Westlake offensive line to get to that second level to make plays. Balls are ready to take the snap here from the gun. With the spread offense, drops back, surveys the field, man in his face. Not able to connect on the outside. Pass intended for Peyton Love.
And Balser has a variety of wide receivers here that he can throw to. Love one of them. We mentioned as well Jackson Lattimore at the beginning of the broadcast. Britton Johnson, another very young receiver that started to develop throughout the course of the season. So there are guys out there. It's just about developing that rhythm and connection. And right now at 3rd and very long, have to wonder what Westlake has in store for the young Balser.
Yes, spread out wide receivers again for Thunder offense. Balser's dropping back, gets a screen pass out, and they're marching up the field. Blockers ahead of him. He's able to get a good chunk play, but not enough for the first down.
A nice job there by the running back as he's able to get upfield, and I believe that was Jackson Slade on the screen pass there. But offensive lineman not able to get out in space quickly enough, and now Westlake is going to have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, would have been a good pickup, just very deep in their own territory, far behind the sticks, not able to convert here as the punt team boots it down the field. We have Cade Wilkinson on the return, catches it. He's got room, being caught out by the pushed back in by the sideline, met at the 40-yard line by the Westlake return team.
Yeah, that's an example of this Westlake team just being youthful, right? You had 2 defenders there, and they didn't square up with one another to try and contain Wilkinson. He's able to evade one tackler, and with that evasion, he gets to the outside and breaks free and gets an extra 20 yards. And now American Fork starts at the 42-yard line with a short field.
Yeah, keeping contained in the open field on Cade Wilkinson would be a tough match for most defenders in the state. We see Gaisford drops back, hands it off to Prince of Fu, who pushes it down for a big or 5-yard gain.
And the bread and butter for American Fork for years has just been that simple inside zone. They love to set up the run game to open up the pass, and even though they don't run for a ton of yards, only averaging 67 on the season, they still are dedicated to the run game, and it may be part of the game plan tonight.
I will correct myself. It looks like Madden Jensen is in on this series at running back. He was the one with a 5-yard gain previously. Gaisford drops back to pass, heaves it up to give his wide receiver a chance. Cash Talisi not able to haul that one in, a little overthrown.
Yeah, good coverage there by Finn Maurer. And Finn Maurer, I think one of the more underrated defensive backs in this region. Number 8 does a good job. I'm not sure we've awarded him his own island just yet, especially not this game, Nate. But he does a great job in coverage and has some help over the top. And it leads to an incompletion, now 3rd and long.
Yeah, it's great. He's not the biggest body on the field, but he's got that dog in him, able to break up some passes. Gaisford, again, drops back to pass. The trip side, gets it out to the end zone. It looks like number 2, Cade Wilkinson, again hauls that one in, reaches out for a few extra yards while he was falling out of bounds for another Cavemen first down.
Yeah, real heady play by Wilkinson to reach out there. He's already in the grasp of the defender, so not really as much risk of fumbling, but also great throw by Gaisford there. We've seen him be incredibly accurate on those deeper out routes, and it's led to Cavemen first downs. And that's great because it keeps the pressure at bay, as you saw Nusi Taumapeo bearing down on him again.
Yeah, brings up a 4th and a full yard for the Cavemen. Keeps the offense on the field. Handoff up the middle. Swarmed up by Westlake Thunder. Not able to get that. That's number 13, Salefano, able to swallow up the running back and force a turnover on downs.
Yeah, you see what Salefano brings to the table and why he's so highly coveted. Cousin of the Spencer and Logan Fano family, but he's heading down south to BYU. Makes a big play there, and that's exactly what the Westlake Thunder needed.
Yeah, I remember calling a Westlake game last year, seeing Fano on the roster and texting around and saying, what is the relation? Another strong cousin in the Fano family brings out Westlake Thunder defense. Keep it from the quarterback. Not able to get to that corner for a loss of down there. It looks like we had Zero Lennox, a bit of a wildcat package, trying to trick the Cavemen defense, not able to do so.
Yeah, and this may be a change that we're seeing as Lennox Nye has taken over at the quarterback position. He's taking signals, and an opportunity here for Westlake to try and change up the defensive strategy for the American Fork Cavemen. Is he may be more of a running quarterback, and that could definitely affect how they defend this offense.
Yeah, Cavemen keep a light box. Lennox drops back to pass. Quarterback keeper has a blocker in front of him, not able to stay behind it. Met for maybe a gain of 1 and to bring up a 3rd and about 13 for this offense.
Yeah, it's a good play design. He had plenty of open field there. Just Lennox misses the hole and not able to get there quickly enough. And some of that is just early nerves, I think, Nate. When you're coming into an offense and you haven't done this all season long, you're just a little hesitant. And we should see him become more confident running the football as the game goes on.
Yeah, it's probably taking most of the practice snaps at wide receiver and DB this season. Taking those snaps directly would be a change of pace for you. We see a flag coming out on the field. Not able to get this snap in on time. Delay a game by the offense.
Yeah, and that's another example of just a new quarterback not having the awareness early on. And your hope is that you catch a break or two at some point, allow those nerves to settle down. But for Westlake, this puts them in a much deeper hole again on offense. And we're going to see, I believe it's Balser come back out at quarterback. Nope, we still got Lennox.
Yeah, Lennox taking this whole series 3 wide to the wide side of the field. He heaves it down the field. Good ball there. Yeah! Intercepted by the Cavemen. Like to see the arm strength on Lennox, not able to hit his wide receiver in stride. The number 5, Noah Beam, on the interception. Great coverage by the safety.
It is, and it's actually almost advantageous as the old arm punt comes into play there, but a nice job by the American Fork defense being aware of where the ball is, able to secure the interception, and now starting at their 41-yard line, American Fork's going to want to get something going. They still haven't found the end zone here in the first quarter with 6:12 left to play.
No, after their first drive ending in a field goal, second drive, 4th and out in the no man's land territory. Gaisford drops back to pass. Ooh, throws it hot with a safety ready to rob that, but not able to complete the pass.
Yeah, Sione Suo with a nice job on the breakup. Sees the ball floated out there a little bit, just not able to reel in the interception. And for Gaisford, that's a good lesson throw. When he goes back to the sideline, they'll talk about that and say, hey, that's one of those ones you really got to step forward and drive the ball.
Drive it up, put it under. Need the arm to get it down the field for sure. Single high safety for the Thunder. Aceford, quick pass there to Cade Wilkinson, streaking across the middle. Looks like he stopped right at the yardage marker. They're giving him the first down.
You can see the savvy of Coach Aaron Beam and his coaching staff there. You run the deep pass, come back to an easy slant. It's a perfect first down pickup. It's a great second down call, and you can see the confidence that they have both in their quarterback and this offense, Nate.
Yeah, it looks like we see a single high safety look from the Thunder. A little different from the 2 high safety we saw in the first couple plays here. Man in motion, puts a bunch out to both sides. Gaisford drops back to pass, has a man open in the flats, circles up, it gets about 10 yards on the play. Another quick, easy read for the quarterback. Great job by Gaisford.
And nice job by Gaisford there, able to find, I believe, David Dean out there in the corner. And you've seen Dean make a couple catches early on, but this is where the Cavemen have seemed to stall out. Previous drive, turnover on downs. First drive, not able to convert and had to kick the field goal. We'll see if things are any different this drive.
4-3. Thunder could be showing pressure. And we see encroachment on the defense. Defense eager to stall him out again.
And nice job by there, changing up the count, able to keep that defense off balance, and that's really where Westlake feels like early on, I think they can make some ground up in this game, is getting pressure on Gaisford.
Cavemen with the no huddle, all look to the sideline. Gaisford, a single running back, brings a wide receiver in motion. Quick pass to the outside, not able to connect there. Ball falls incomplete. Pass intended for Spencer Shipley.
Yeah, just not enough juice on that one. When we've seen Gaisford miss a couple short and a couple long. Still trying to find this rhythm early in the game. You have to wonder if maybe the pressure has him thinking through things just a little bit more than normal.
Yeah, definitely some big bodies on the other side of the line trying to get after him. Also swinging across his full body to try to get that out into the opposite flats. A little trickier for him. Takes the ball, drops back into the pocket, and deflected there by Westlake. It's that number 8, Finn Moore, again breaking up a pass, making life tough for this Cavemen defense.
You talked about it, Nate. He's not huge in terms of size, about 5'11", very quick. He's great with his hands and a real technician there in coverage. Has great position as the ball sails high on that one. And Westlake now, or excuse me, American Fork, 3rd and about 5. They need a conversion here.
4 minutes and 48 seconds left in this first quarter. Gaisford hits his wide receiver on the break, not able to get his head around in time. Moore is able to break up that pass again. Cavemen challenging him, but Moore standing strong.
Yeah, Finn Maurer again with the PBU. The pass breakup just does a great job, but American Fork wanting to be aggressive, going to go for it here on 4th down, and Westlake back up to bat again. If they can get another turnover on downs, Nate, that would really set the offense up nicely.
Man in motion for the Cavemen, trying to show the coverage. Has a man out in the flats. The flag came out early on the play. 82, Cash Talesy able to haul that in. We'll see what the flag was.
Yeah, I think this is going to be procedure against American Fork, because it looked like a wide receiver turned upfield just a little bit too early there. Unfortunately, the catch by Cash not going to count, and I think American Fork will decide to punt this one away.
Yeah, pushes the... Looks like we'll be applying this. Yeah, 5-yard penalty for the Cavemen. We have the punt team out. So again, Westlake able to stand strong against the Cavemen offense. Sky punt here. Going to land about the 15-yard line. Takes a favorable bounce for the Cavemen, but Maurer able to catch it off the bounce and fight for yards.
Everybody standing around trying to find the ball, but you know who knows where it is? Finn Maurer, baby. He's right on top of it, scoops it up. The man is fearless. Yeah, gotta be honest, Nate, as much as I wanted to return kicks, there's no way I could have done what Finn Maurer just did. And he's able to put this Westlake offense in much better field position there at the 29-yard line following that sky-high kick.
Yeah, full coverage team coming at you. I'd be getting away from that in a heartbeat. See Westlake drop back to pass. Quick handoff up the middle. That is Mason Tapusa, I believe, on the carry. Could be wrong there for the running back of the Thunder. But a quick 3-yard gain here for the offense. Westlake trying to find a rhythm this evening. Again, Thursday night, these guys got homework to turn in tomorrow and tests to take.
Yeah, no breaks for that one in terms of teachers or anything like that. These guys are true student athletes first and foremost.
Westlake again hands it off the inside. Number 5, Drayson Afue, not able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like about a loss of 3 on the play, bringing up 3rd and 10 quickly for the Thunder.
I'm not sure if Afuvai saw something different or what the situation was on that one. It looked like they had the counter set up with just a little bit more patience. If he'd followed his blockers, there was a hole that was opening. Perhaps a miscommunication in the backfield, as we do have a new quarterback right now. Lennox Naea back there as the signal caller, replacing Brighton Balser.
Yeah, running back strictly trying to get outside. Lennox surveying the field, scrambling out to the outside, makes one defender miss, but not the next group of secondary. Gets 5 yards on the play, but brings up about 4th and 5.
Yeah, Naea, a good athlete. You can see it there on the scramble. He's got some speed. The thing that he'll have to develop throughout the course of this game is staying in gear, so to speak. And if he can learn to just keep those legs moving rather than slowing down at contact, he'll be able to run through some defenders and maybe pick up a few extra yards. Nevertheless, Westlake able to get out of this one. 4th and 5. You punt the ball away. Your defense has held strong. Maybe you can flip the field one more time.
Yeah, the punt is away down the field. We have Wilkinson on the returns, able to haul it in, and is running down the sideline. Coverage team able to meet him about the 43-yard line. Great job by the coverage team this time, not able to let Wilkinson escape again.
Well, we don't often shout out special teams players, but Gunnar Michaelis, come on down. That's a great job of blocking out there for Wilkinson. Able to keep his hands inside the frame. It allows Wilkinson to pick up at least an extra 10, 15 yards. Shout out to my man Michaelis there with the elite special teams play.
Gaisford hands it off up the middle. Prince of Fu able to fight for an extra yard or 2 on that one, bringing up 2nd and 8.
And that's our guy Salefano again on the tackle, and it's a good sign when your defensive end can come around on that tackle. It means that your interior guys are actually holding up at the point of attack, and there's just not those same big holes opening up for this Westlake defense, Nate. That's a real positive sign.
Yeah, great to see as the game develops, able to play cat and mouse, play action there. Deep ball to Cash, able to haul it in. Looks like he may have stepped out of bounds. They're not able to keep that one complete. Great read there on the play action, just too close to the sideline to be able to haul it in. Bringing up 3rd and 8 for the Cavemen.
Yeah, Cade Wilkinson wishing we had review here because he thought he was in bounds. I thought he was too. Regardless, it was a phenomenal play. Unfortunately, doesn't go in favor of the Cavemen.
Gaisford keeps on a boot. Has Wilkinson open, makes a man miss, gets on the outside, caught from behind. Great job there by the Cavemen, scheming him up into space.
And you can see the difference when Gaisford is comfortable and able to throw on platform. He's outside the pocket, he's rolling out, but he's still able to develop those mechanics and throw a dart in there. Then Cade Wilkinson with the nifty move, able to move those changes to the extra few yards. That's a 15-yard play, and we talk about explosive plays. It's a great way to end up in the end zone.
Yeah, great job by the coaching staff to get Gaisford prepped tonight. Hands it off up the middle. This is Madison Jensen fighting for yards, getting about 7 on the play.
Yeah, the left side of that Westlake defense just not up to task. And that's a big gain again on first down as they get 9 yards. And you can see the change of pace. American Fork traditionally has liked to use multiple running backs. Maybe this will be the one that finds a rhythm today.
Yeah, Maiden Jensen, a couple solid runs on the evening so far. See Gaisford, he takes the pass again, fakes the handoff, fires down the side. Intended for David Dean, not able to haul it in. Cavemen still taking shots to these sidelines.
Yeah, but his accuracy's improving. That one just off the fingertips, seemingly, of Dean. And granted, we're far removed from that far corner of the field, up here above the press box, so to speak. But already like what I see from Gaisford as he's starting to settle down, and we'll see if they try to work the run game in again. But Madden Jensen with the early spark on this drive.
Yeah, like the coaching staff still taking shots down the field and trusting them. 4-man bunch off to the side of the field. Quick catch there, not able to stay on his feet. I believe that's number 41, Prince Afu, trying to get those wide receivers out blocking in front of them.
And what you're trying to do with Afu is get a big back on smaller defenders out there, but unfortunately, he's just not able to keep his feet with a big power back. You can see the coaches are talking to him about that on the sideline right now. How to stand out there, how to catch. Sometimes we think just because you're an athlete, you can do all that stuff. I'm telling you, technique is such a critical part about it.
And there goes the first quarter of this ball game. American Fork 3, Westlake still yet to get on the board. Let's step away for a minute and be right back here in American Fork with KSL Rewind. Back to Thursday night in American Fork for KSL Sports Rewind. Thursday night high school football. Start off the second quarter, we have American Fork up 3. Westlake still not on the board. Change sides for the Cavemen offense. Hopefully this side of the field will be more kind to them. It's about the area we've seen the offense stall out about on 4 drives tonight. Only able to come away with a field goal. And joined with me, our favorite color analyst, Brian Brown.
Yeah, it's been a peaks and valleys really for this American Fork Caveman offense as they've been able to drive the ball. It's just finishing drives that's plagued them this game, and let's see what they're able to do here on third down. Just second down. I believe the scoreboard is wrong.
Gaisford drops back to pass, has a swarm of defensive linemen on him, able to find Wilkinson in the broken coverage, and is fighting for more yards, slips 3, taken down by the shoelaces, not going to go down from the arm tackles, fights for the extra yards, first and goal for the Cavemen.
Well, Cade Wilkinson with the HBO. Help a brother out as David Gaisford scrambling for his life back there. Finds number 2, and then it's a not today from Wilkinson as he breaks tackles and gets him inside the 5-yard line.
Looks like the hard count able to make Westlake Thunder jump off sides again. Half the distance for the goal. See some big bodies coming out here for the Cavemen. We'll see who's been slacking on leg day, as I feel we're going to get a big push from this offensive line.
Yeah, you got a real jumbo package coming out here, and with that, you always want to watch any kind of movement or action out of the backfield. A real tough position for the defense to be in.
Hand off to number 20, Luke Broadbent, able to crash in over the line. First touchdown of the night for the Cavemen. Yeah, great job there by the jumbo package.
It's just a simple off-tackle play. Broadbent follows the blockers and pounds his way into the end zone. And the American Fork Cavemen go up 9-0 here pending the PAT.
Team is out. Lewis Connect taking his 3 steps back, 2 steps over. Little wind on the evening. Ball is snap, the kick is up, slices it right through the middle for an extra point for the Cavemen. 10-0 here for the Cavemen. And great job there by the drive. They were able to bust through that no man's land with that big play to Wilkinson, who forced his way down into the red zone.
It took him a quarter to do it, but American Fork finally finishes a drive with a touchdown and an exclamation point as the jumbo package comes in and drives that one into the end zone. But Nate, I think the real star of the show for that drive was Cade Wilkinson. So far this game, he's shown incredible effort in going the extra mile to try and pick up extra yards and be an extra good player. Really impressed by him on that drive and so far this game.
Yeah, Cavemen able to celebrate senior night this evening. Cade Wilkinson with his family able to walk across the field. Balloons, roses, leis, all the celebration. Exciting night for the Cavemen to honor the kids that have been with this program. Connect then boots this one. Not even going to touch the end zone, clear out of the field.
Yeah, Lewis Connect has a big leg, Nate. You see it on that one as he puts that one out the back of the end zone. Now for Westlake, their offense, they have yet to cross the 50-yard line, and they have a heavy task ahead of them as this American Fork defense has come out fired up, and they're playing with backup quarterback Lennox Naea as the signal caller.
Yeah, Naea, a very speedy back here. Definitely feels pressured making his reads as he wings that one out quick and could be intercepted by the Cavemen. Looks like quick pass there as he is able to be intercepted. Just needs to find a rhythm, take a breath.
Boy, when it rains, it pours for the Westlake Thunder offense, and it's a great job there as American Fork tight on the coverage, sees the slant coming, the defender steps right in front of that pass, and it's a quick turnover, and all of a sudden the Cavemen are threatening to score again here at the 21-yard line.
We see all the Cavemen offense coming back out to the field, all restrapping their helmets as they were surprised by the quick turnover as well. 17, Gaisford Jr. again takes the snap, quick handoff up the middle. This is Prince Afu again, able to fight for an extra yard, falling forward, gain of 5 on the play.
Yeah, he sees the hole just a little bit late and tries to spin to the outside, but not enough momentum as his legs weren't able to keep up with his mind on that one. Still falls forward for a good gain, and now they're sitting at second and about 7 here on inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, these big bodies on the Westlake front, not necessarily arm tackles, but able to step up in the hole and make life hard for him. Flag comes out as Afu gets the handoff and gets swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, does he ever. And that Westlake defense ready for the counter on that one. As you see, they play it perfectly, and Afu will have to come out now, I believe, as his helmet pops off. It looks like he's okay, though, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. Looks like a sideline warning against the Cavemen. I don't know. Football's been around for over 100 years. The sideline warning still coming to effect as the players on the sideline just want to get as close as they can to the field.
Yeah, death taxes and coaches being on the field are 3 things you can almost always count on in any football game. And on that one, you just have to be mindful of where the official is. And for them, as much it's for their own protection, as they're not trying to watch where the coaches are.
They're trying to watch the game and just get up down the field as Gaeford surveys, tries to fire it in down the middle, but quick hit there by, good coverage by Drayson Atuve, I believe, on the play.
Yeah, it was Finn Maurer on the breakup again, yeah. He's a name that we'll call a lot tonight, I'm sure, but unfortunately on that one, Gaisford locks in on the first read. Maurer with a great defense, and Westlake holds after the turnover. American Fork on to attempt the field goal.
Connect on the right side of the hash, puts it up. It's going to look like it sails over and in for another 3 points after the interception for the Cavemen.
Yeah, Lewis Connect with a beautiful field goal there. Puts it right through the uprights. High arching kick. Not a lot of wind here tonight. In fact, it's dead as far as wind is concerned. No movement from the flags on the north end of the field for the Cavemen. This one's starting to look nice and comfortable as they go up 13-0 following the kick from Connect.
Yeah, if you could tell me at the beginning of the season, mid-October, we'd be calling games in 70-degree weather, I would say you were joking.
Yeah, especially this late in the evening with the sun down, and it is a beautiful scene here at American Fork, even though we didn't get a whole lot of it as the game kicked at 7 p.m. and we're in that time in season, Nate, where the sun starts to set even before we get to kickoff, and it's when you know football season is really here.
Yeah, not soon enough. We'll be packing our winter coats with us. Connects kicks this off again, sails it in. It's like he's going for the bleachers in the end zone.
Yeah, it's rare that you call a kicker explosive, but that's exactly what Lewis Connect is. My normal partner, Alex Nopolis, not able to join us tonight. Grateful that Nate's filling in here, but I have a feeling that Alex may have something to say with Lewis Connect being a potential MVP candidate for the game.
Yeah, Alex, a big soccer and kicking enthusiast.
He's absolutely the special team specialist of our broadcast team, and shout out to Alex doing his thing back in the studio tonight as he does everything for 1280 The Zone.
We see a timeout here from the Westlake Thunder. We will be able to step away too. Sports Rewind, Thursday night football here in American Fork. American Fork Cavemen up 13. Westlake still trying to get on the scoreboard. Looks like a tight package here for the Thunder as we see number 5, Drayson Afube, take the direct snap and rush up the field with extra blockers in this package. Gain of 6 on the play.
Yeah, Afube able to get about 5-6 yards on the carry, and that's really what Westlake needs. They just need a chance. I don't want to exactly call their offense Samsonite.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator throwing everything at the wall, seeing what they can stick. Makes it life tough for the next defensive coordinator, seeing all these packages to prepare for. So we see Afu Vai ready to take a snap again. Doesn't even look to be keeping his eyes down the field, just gets to that outside. Potential holding on the play. The flag thrown towards the backfield.
Yeah, you can see how hard it is when the offense becomes one-dimensional like that, and really Westlake just trying to do anything they can, and I don't think this is a situation where anybody's been pulled. It does look like Brighton Balser is injured. I haven't seen him on the sideline. I don't know what the specifics are. If we had a sideline reporter, we would go to them.
Minimal crew here as the Thunder offense gets pushed back a little bit. Seeing the jumbo package, Cavemen coming out in a 3-3 front, hoping that you can at least on the light box get that push that you need to get the running back up a little bit. Cavemen playing disciplined here, able to still make plays.
And the advantage of the 3-3 front, like you said, Nate, is that disguise, right? Knowing what guy is going where and who to block, and it seems like that's been the biggest riddle that Westlake has not been able to solve.
Yeah, Cavemen ready for another quarterback keeper here. Gets swallowed up at the line of scrimmage again. Not the success they were hoping with this package, but
not a play calling expert, and I did not stay at a Holiday Inn last night, but I'm going to say that if that's the only play Westlake has in the playbook right now, it's going to be a struggle for them tonight. So they are going to need to figure something out, whether it's some jet sweeps or some zone read or whatever, but a difficult situation for the Thunder tonight.
Yes. It looks like a false start on the offense. Another 5 yards. Making life tougher on themselves again.
Yeah, the mental mistakes are so killer with a program like this where you're trying to develop culture and Westlake, not exactly a powerhouse in the region. I don't think there's any surprise with that, but it's a proud program and a program that should be competitive.
Yeah, keeper going out to the right side again. He breaks it to the sideline, runs out of field there as he's pushed out. Gain of give it about 12 yards there on the play, bringing up into still deep 4th down for the Thunder.
And they'll wisely punt this one away as it looks like he's marked just a little bit short of, not the first down, but short of getting back to the original, or just a little past the original line of scrimmage. And for Westlake, some good takeaways there. If you don't have the mental miscues, you may have been able to pick up a first down. And the one benefit to running the ball like that is it wears down a defense.
Yeah, get those defenders running sideline to sideline. Will get him exhausted in the altitude. Big punt here. Wilkinson's this time stays away. The favorable bounce for the Thunder. Cavemen offense will come out from their own 30-yard line.
And a shout out to the punt team, the punt return team, I should say, for American Fork is number 3, Jacob Owens, again with a great block on that one. Wilkinson just letting it bounce, doing the smart thing. The offense has been plenty explosive, but I tell you what, for a huge element of the game, we so often overlook those kinds of special team plays. And shout out to Jacob Owens for doing a great job on that one.
Great job shouting out the coverage team players here as we see Gavesford throw a man in motion, swings it to the outside. Another catch there by David Dean, brings it up, gets out. Late flag here. They'll give him about 11 yards on the play. This is coming back against the Cavemen with a holding. The blocks were too good to be true on that one, Brian.
Well, it's a shame because David Dean does a nice job of picking up the first down, and based on where the flag is, probably wouldn't have had an impact on the gain regardless. And you can see that David Dean is an explosive player, able to pick up 12 yards on that one. Unfortunately, it is negated by the hold, so it'll actually end up being a 2-yard loss based on the spot of the foul. And for American Fork, you need more of that.
Yeah, Gavesford has done he's had his ups and downs when you see him making the right reads through his progressions and able to get the ball out there as he drops back again. Oh, pocket collapses on him, and Westlake is able to get into the backfield. We have number 69, Cody Bailey, forcing the sack there.
Yeah, the defense has been up to the task, and I'm not exactly sure who it was that made the tackle, but this defensive front is playing hard for Westlake, and it's having an impact here as American Fork is now backed up another 6 yards.
Yeah, deep look here as they have trips out to the wide side. Gavesford drops back. Quick pass here. Little overthrown there, intended for Cash. And we see another quick ball here from Gavesford, not being able to hit the wide receiver.
Yeah, it's a big risk reward there as Westlake brings the house, the double A-gap blitz, and while they aren't able to get home, they're able to put pressure on Gavesford, and he throws it just outside the reach. We've seen him throw a great ball when he's not pressured. It's just dealing with that front that seems to have bothered him.
Yeah, a lot of times quarterbacks talk about that internal clock and could be reset after a sack. Westlake brings the house. Gavesford swings it over the middle to Wilkinson. Ref saying the ball hit the turf, not able to haul that one in, but it's as close as it can get, bringing up a 4th and long for the Cavemen.
Wilkinson gets up and hobbles off a little bit. He almost made another amazing grab there, just not able to keep it in. And unfortunately for the Cavemen, that's going to lead to a punt. And the Westlake Thunder defense has once again done its job. This game right now sits at 13-0 in favor of the Cavemen, but the Westlake Thunder defense has done a great job.
Yeah, definitely have an opportunity here as we see this ball punted down. Mayor is able to pick it up, rushes down the field for 10 yards after picking up off the bounce again. Brave move here for the returner.
I don't know if the Westlake baseball team is looking for shortstop, but Maurer has been able to field those grounders every single time and provides a little extra breathing room there. And for the first time tonight, Westlake is threatening to cross the 50-yard line, Nate, and we'll see what this offense is able to do. Now, we've been through 2 quarterbacks as Brighton Balser is out, but it does look like, I believe that is Lennox Naya back in.
Yeah, it looks like Lennox back in the gun. Takes a pass, quick handoff. Going right up the middle. Met at the line of scrimmage by the Cavemen defense. That's 49, Tegan Jackson. Getting the reps on this series. Fights for a yard.
And one thing you'll notice is Naya has to go over to the sideline and get the call directly from the offensive coordinator every single play. It's going to slow the offense down just that much more, but if they're able to pick up some kind of momentum here in the run game and continue to wear down this Caveman defense, who knows what could happen.
Yeah, Lennox hands it off again on the outside. It looks like he was able to be met in the backfield again. Great job by the Cavemen swarming up here. Nowhere to go for the Thunder running back.
And those powder blue uniforms look beautiful, but sometimes a little difficult for us to decipher numbers out there. Again, now for Westlake as they sit 3rd and long. Not sure what you go to in the playbook here. We saw Naya throw a couple early passes, and maybe he's settled down just enough to where he can connect on this one.
Lennox drops back, surveys the field, heaves it down. Pass intended for number 7, Peyton Love. Defense able to break up that ball with a timely hit.
Yeah, it was a nice route by Peyton Love, but the defense saw it coming the entire way. You see the defender right there in the lane. I think the good news for Westlake, no turnovers. The bad news, it was a 3-and-out, so you're going to have a turnover on downs here following the punt. And I wonder at what point American Fork is going to go after this punt, because they've seen a couple fluttery snaps here.
Snap's not too bad there. Big punt down there towards Wilkinson. He wants to touch it. Decides to stay away. Favorable bounce and roll out for the Thunder. Will push him back to their own 13-yard line.
Normally, I understand the coaching point. You want to teach your guys to do the smart thing, which is stay away from the football. You could see Cade Wilkinson staying disciplined, not touching it, but you almost wonder if you don't just trust Wilkinson that much to make a play and allow him to scoop it up. It's been successful for Maurer and Westlake. And maybe it would work for the Cavemen. Instead, they'll start inside their own 15-yard line here with 5 minutes and 30 seconds to play.
Yeah, Wilkinson was hoping that ball took a favorable bounce right into his arms. Not able to do so. Gaisford hands it off right up the middle for the Cavemen. 41, Prince of Fu, pushing that ball 6 yards down the field.
Yeah, big pickup as they get a great initial surge there from the offensive line. And now for this Westlake defense, they've been out there a lot already in this first quarter, Nate, or first half, I should say. You have to wonder how many more series do they have in them before they start to wear down.
Yeah, they've been fighting all season. But the Cavemen doing a good job answering it so far. Another handoff up the middle. The flag comes out. Afu able to get past. Ooh, the first down marker by a good 6 yards. Big chunk play there by the offense. We'll see what the call is here from the umpires.
Yeah, I think this one's going to get backed up here. It looks like it's going to go against the American Fork Cavemen.
Yeah, this one. Another possible hold. Still working it out. And it will be a holding against the Cavemen from a first down.
And it looks like the American Fork Cavemen have made a change here at quarterback. Number 18 comes into the game.
Yeah, quick change here. We'll see. Change of pace here from Gaisford.
It's Capono Manuela in there at quarterback, the junior, and I Don't see Gaisford right now on the sideline. Try and find out what's going on with that situation, but something to monitor for folks watching at home.
Manua drops back to pass, swings it out. Intended wide receiver, 26, Dyson Richards, tight end. Not holding a catch yet tonight. We do see a change of pace from Manuata to Gaisford as things are looking like a different tempo out there for this new quarterback.
Yeah, and you can see the change in just the offense as Manuela is able to get outside and it be a little more evasive, just not able to hit the receiver in stride, and wishes he could have had that one over again, and see what they're able to do here on 3rd and long.
Drops back, surveys the field, heaves it down. Intended for David Dean, but great coverage there by the defense.
Yeah, nice job by David Dean of playing defense on that one. See, the throw's just a little short. Finn Maurer had end zones, dreaming of end zones, as he tried to pick that one off, and Dean able to knock it away. And this is a very important development for American Fork, as we now have both teams playing with backup quarterbacks.
Cavemen punt team on the field from their end zone, wings it down right to the punt returner as he streaks down the field, breaks the tackle, and is brought down by the second one. Give Westlake a chance to sniff the red zone for the first time this evening.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Is side judge with a bit of an arm cannon there on the flag. Throws one from deep on the sideline out there to the middle of the field. Not sure exactly what he saw, but threw it with emphasis.
Yeah, line judge trying to get the penalty flag over those mountains. It makes it to midfield.
And all Uncle Rico references aside, I think this one unfortunately goes against Westlake. A personal foul, and that backs the Thunder up back into their own territory again, as they'll start at the 49-yard line. And what was an exciting return by Finn Maurer, negated by a penalty.
Yeah, Maurer with the action green gloves has earned it with his performance this evening. See Lennox again in the shotgun. Hand off to the outside. Breaking one tackle. Number 5, Mason Famu Mausil, able to get it just barely over the 50-yard line. Oh, ref actually is going to spot it right at the 50-yard line. Westlake still trying to make it into enemy territory.
Yeah, at this point for the Thunder, they'll take any gain possible, and while 2 yards on first down is not a lot, it's been a lot of backing up for them this first half, and so whatever you can do to try and generate any kind of momentum is worth trying at this point.
Hands off to the wide side of the field. Breaks a tackle, able to push his way down the field to the 34-yard line. Big first down, biggest play of the night for the Westlake Thunder.
Yeah, just a great job there by the offensive line on the counter. And number 49, I believe, Taylon Willardson, able to scamper for the first down and more. Excuse me, wrong roster on that one.
Looks like 49, Tegan Jackson, able to push that one down. The junior running back, able to make a spark happen for the offense.
And a shout out to Tegan. Great job taking the handoff and getting the big gain.
Lex takes the snap, hands it off to the outside. Life in this running game for the Thunder. Communication up on the line of scrimmage, able to get the push they need, getting some positive yardage.
Yeah, it's a counter again for that Westlake Thunder team, and they're finding something that works. We talked about it, Nate. The more you lean on a defense in the run game, the harder it gets to stop as the game wears on. And right now for Westlake, you're in field goal range and potential for more with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Again, takes the snap, hands it off right again, runs it up just past the line of scrimmage, bringing up about a 3rd and 4 from this new momentum. Definitely yardage that Thunder offense should be able to pick up.
Yeah, I'm not sure who number 41 is, not listed on the Westlake rosters that we have, but they're finding chunk plays. Nice job there. I don't know if Ashton Taylor's listening at home, but Ashton, you let me know a name that we can match with that number. In the meantime, Westlake has something going here.
Looks, Lennox surveys the field, swings it back to the other side, down to number 2, Jackson Lattimore, able to push it up and get a first down. Great job there, keeping the offense in motion, getting the defense to connect to the other side and swings it back.
Great job by Lennox Knight because he bobbles the ball a little bit, turns around and hits Lattimore, and you can see why I'm such a big fan of Jackson Lattimore. He just fights so hard to get the extra yards on that one. It gets him a first down. And now Westlake threatening to score with 1:20 left to play in the second quarter.
Westlake offense finding a rhythm. Here's Lennox, takes the snap again, surveys the field, drops back, pumps, wings it in there. Quick hitch routes across the field, not able to connect there. Going right back to Jackson Lattimore. Second and 10 for the offense.
Well, a little bit of whimsy there from Lennox Knight as he goes with the pump fake on the short little hitch route, but it's not enough to distract the multiple American Fork defenders surrounding Lattimore. The ball is knocked away. Now they'll look to try and do something here on second and long. They've been so effective running the ball, so you can understand why they want to try and throw it a little bit just to keep the defense off balance.
Yeah, it looked like a well-placed pump fake as Lennox rolls out to his left, throws across his body, and it's intercepted by the Cavemen secondary. Number 16, Beckham Reese, the strong safety. Ball hawks that one out of the air. Gives the Cavemen offense the ball on their own 1-yard line.
No, it's a great stop by the American Fork defense. As you see, Naya has a streaking Beckham Featherstone looking open, just not able to hit him. The American Fork defender steps in front of it, snatches that one away. And for this Caveman defense, that's Caveman strong right there when you need to be strong.
Steps it up. Looks like Gaisford listened in on the huddle, but is staying on the sideline as again, number 18, Capono Manu Nita is going to lead this offense out of their 1-yard line. Not able to break the huddle and get the ball snapped off quickly enough to lay him on the offense. It's going to be tough to push this ball back further.
Yeah, it may only be a half a yard, but I think the bigger fear if you're the American Fork offense is you've got a backup quarterback in there in the shotgun with potential for anything to go wrong. For the Westlake defense, you have to believe their ears will be pinned back.
Hands it up off the middle. He's not able, looks like the line judge is going to give him an extra yard of breathing room. Nowhere really to go with that strong Westlake defensive front.
Yeah, you can see the Westlake defense thinking the same thing that I was. They're able to hold up at the point of attack, and little bit of breathing room now for this American Fork offense. And with 37 seconds left in the half, this may be one of the last handoffs that we see.
Yeah, Thunder defense crowding that line of scrimmage, trying to get a push. Maybe even dreaming of a 2-point safety. 3 seconds left on the play clock as we see time expire again. We're going to have a timeout here for the Cavemen to bail out this quarterback.
Yeah, Coach Beam going to take time out here as they've wound the clock down to just 20 seconds left in the half.
Well, as these teams take a breather, we will as well. KSL Sports Rewind, Thursday night high school football in America. Welcome back, KSL Sports Rewind, Thursday night high school football, as we have the junior quarterback Capono Manuda backed up on his own 2-yard line, hands it off up the middle again, breaks it to the outside, able to brought down by the outside linebacker, number 5, Drayson Afuve, able to make the play, make life hard for the Cavemen.
Yeah, that'll end the half here, Nate, but a bit of a dangerous situation, and we're going to talk more about that on the other side. Is this one's in the books for the first half here for the American Fork Cavemen and the Westlake Thunder.
Yeah, that's correct. We're out here. American Fork 13, Westlake 0. Will give us a break as well as these teams head to the sideline, come back, gather our thoughts. Thank you for tuning in at KSL Sports Rewind, Thursday night high school football. Sports Rewind Network here for Thursday night high school football in American Fork as we see the Cavemen up 13 against the Westlake Thunder. Cavemen will be kicking off. Luke Connect warmed up at halftime. Next to me here we have Brian Brown to call this second half of the game. Seeing a handful of quarterbacks on both sides. Brian, any thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, it was a very interesting first half, Nate, as you saw the American Fork offense really generate some energy and some momentum, but didn't finish drives the way we expected to. And then the surprise change of quarterback, which we found out at halftime is an expected change, as American Fork likes to rotate their quarterbacks every third series. So I suspect we'll see Gaisford out here to start. We see...
Yeah, Gaisford, the senior, rotating series with Capuno, the junior, getting him those reps. Hopefully continue to grow the program and be able to reload instead of rebuild.
And on the flip side of that, we're going to see this Westlake offense try and figure something out as Lennox now, Naea is back there in a quarterback, the backup replacing Brighton Balser. And they've been predominantly relying on the run game, and on that one, just not a lot of doing as American Fork, fresh out of the locker room, starts strong.
Yeah, lots of one there. Defensive front for the Cavemen, able to swallow up the running back behind the line of scrimmage. Things are getting a little chillier post halftime, but not as bad as it typically is in a mid-October night football game. Handoff outside to the running back. He's able to fight up again, swallowed up near the line of scrimmage, given about 1.5 yards on the play, bringing up 3rd and 9 for the offense.
And just not a lot doing off that side of the line for Westlake, and fortunately that's been the story for the offense almost all game long. A few explosive plays, but we've seen a variety of runners in the backfield, none of them able to develop any kind of consistency.
No, great job here by the defensive front. Cavemen showing pressure, sending 5 at the quarterback. Lennox tries to get it out to the flats, not able to do so. Pass intended for Brenton Johnson. The bigger targets on the field. Coming out at halftime, quick 3 and out here for the defense, making great adjustments to make life hard for Westlake. I believe Cade Wilkinson is back deep to return. Oh, Cavemen sending some pressure at the punt, not able to get there. Cade's trying to field the punt, not able to get to it. Number 1, Caleb Isaacson, able to down that ball for the Thunder.
Yeah, and for Westlake, it's just been an absolute back and forth on the punt team. You know, they've had a few that haven't traveled that far in air yards. On that one, they get a big kick in terms with the air yardage, but just no bounce whatsoever. And the Cavemen will start with great field position here at the 43-yard line.
Cavemen coming out in this spread offense again. Fakes the handoff, wings it down the sideline, hauls it in. Cade Wilkinson breaks the tackle, dances towards the end zone. Quick touchdown for the Cavemen.
able to break a few tackles and scamper into the end zone for a quick 6. What a play by Cade Wilkinson.
So dangerous after the catch, able to make the defenders miss. Deep against the secondary. Now we have Lewis Connect lined up for the PAT. Kicks it through the uprights again. 2 field goals and 2 PATs there. Coming out of the halftime, this offense hasn't lost a step and is ready to kick off right back to the Thunder.
I'm just sitting here in awe with that play from Cade Wilkinson, and he's been a dog all night long, but what a play. First play of the second half, and he puts the Cavemen on the board. Up 20-0 now, Nate, and for Westlake, what had started out as a tough challenge anyways here in the second half just got that much tougher as they're going to have to generate some kind of offense to try and dig their way out of this hole.
Yeah, we saw Gaisford in the first half taking those shots towards the sideline and not able to connect with a wide receiver inbounds, able to do so there. And Wilkinson just dances for the cherry on top. Connect again, booms this out the back of the end zone, and giving the Thunder the ball at the 20-yard line. Lennox comes out to the play. I don't believe we'll see Balzer take any more snaps tonight. Hands off to the outside, bumping up the out towards the side is Tegan Jackson. About 7 yards on the play there for Westlake. Powerful run there by Jackson.
Yeah, he's able to just hide behind that big Westlake offensive line and let them do the dirty work and pick up a good positive gain there on first down as the Thunder finally starting off a drive with big positive chunk yardage.
Yeah, with the 5-man front from the Cavemen, hands it off again. Number 41, not able, given about a yard past the line of scrimmage again, bringing up 3rd and 2 for the offense. Nowhere to go. Some plays we've seen big lanes for the running back. Most of the time, the running back's just been swallowed up in the backfield.
Yeah, just not a whole lot of breathing room on that one, as you mentioned. They swallowed up, and for this Westlake Thunder offense, they just haven't seen enough in the passing game to have a lot of confidence, and we'll see the Wildcat look out of there now.
Yeah, it looks like the direct snap, pushing it down the field. He breaks open. He's trying to beat out the safeties, running out of room from the sideline and gets pushed out. That is number 5, Drayson Afuve, able to push it down. Wildcat look, just a power move by Westlake.
Boy, it's a touchdown-saving tackle there by Noah Beam. As Afuve broke free. You can see the big dog has some speed in him, too. So he scampers down the sideline, and that's exactly what this Westlake Thunder offense needed. A big play, and unfortunately, it looks like this one's going to come back. I don't know if it's going to go back to the original line of scrimmage, but at the very least a few yards here as we see the officials huddle at about the 45-yard line. It's out of frame right now.
Yeah, it's on the far side of the field. Flag sitting by the 50-yard line. We see the white hat coming to make a call. That'll be another a sideline penalty.
Sideline warning against Westlake there. Yeah, it's just the first one. So the first one, not an actual penalty, and so we'll hurry to try and get the everything going as the clock has already started, but the chain crew is not yet set up. And shout out to our cameraman, Bill, don't call him Vince Francis, for the good work on that one.
Direct snap there. Onto the edge. Coming off is Newsy with the handoff. The hair almost blocking the number, but no one's able to take him down after a gain of 8 yards.
Yeah, I love this wrinkle from the Westlake Thunder offense. Newsy Taumapeo, one of the best athletes. He's very explosive, able to gash that American Fork defense. And Nate, if they can get a touchdown on this play and hopefully get a stop. Now, you don't want to use Taumapeo on every single down because you need him so much on defense, but if you can get points here, it just gives you so much more momentum and belief.
Yeah, Newsy lined up again with his Wildcat formation, tries to read it, fighting for yards. No hole opened up for him there. Flag comes out late in the end zone as a wide receiver and DB. Maybe getting a little rough out there.
I'm not sure what the penalty is going to be here. It does look like Newsy had enough for the first down on that one, but I believe this one will be coming back. And I saw Jackson Lattimore and the defensive back chatting. They didn't look like anything malicious had gone on. And so I think this one's just going to get spotted. Nope, there's the sign. Interesting. Face mask against Westlake.
Ooh, rough time penalty against the Thunder, pushing them back. Hopefully not taking the momentum away with them. And it pushes them back to 2nd and 15. A very untimely penalty as we see Drayson again taking the direct snap with the fullback to block for him. Fights for 3 yards.
Yeah, untimely penalty for sure, and unnecessary, really. There's no situation in which you need to get a face mask on offense, and for Coach Ale and his staff, that's going to be one of those sore moments in film next week, because they were right in the mix of getting into the end zone and now backed up substantially here. 2nd and long, 3rd and long. Just a critical penalty for the Westlake Thunder when they absolutely needed something bigger.
Yeah, as fun as football is, it is an opportunity for these players to learn and grow. Hopefully they will. Another direct snap to Drayson as he tries to dance to the outside. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage, bringing up 4th and at least 16.
Yeah, Alphavai trying to spread that one out, but you're running to the narrow side of the field. You call it the boundary. And there's just not a lot of space there, and Westlake trying to run receivers in routes, but it's not fooling anyone on this American Fork defense, and now they'll attempt a field goal for the first time with 6:26 to play.
Westlake lined up, boots it into the line. It is caught by the Cavemen, swinging to the outside, breaks an arm tackle. He's still fighting for yards. That is number 6, Justin Borges, able to catch the deflected field goal attempt and push it down the field and fights for additional yards.
Justin, I apologize in advance as we're probably going to butcher your name, but there was nothing bad about that play at all whatsoever. What a savvy move by Bourgeois to snatch the ball out of the air and then breaks multiple tackles. I don't know if he has any interest in playing on offense, but coaches might want to take a look at him, make him part of that 3-headed monster running back.
Yeah, had great ball control, fought for the yards, down the field. Gaisberg surveys, swings it down, called in by David Dean, pushed out by the safety, able to get over the top of the cornerback. Big gain.
Gaisberg throws such a beautiful ball there on the sideline. You can see how easy and natural it is for him as he's got plenty of time in the pocket, and they almost go back-to-back scoring plays as Dean is finally pushed out of bounds.
Cavemen trying to push the tempo here, get the Westlake defense to jump off sides. Maybe a 5-yard encroachment penalty.
It's an easy 5 yards for that American Fork offense, and you see, unfortunately, it's Nusi Taumapeo, who's done phenomenal all game long, but that is the price you pay for making him go both ways. Maybe a little fatigue there, and really fatigue sets in mentally as much as it does physically at this point, and just losing discipline right there.
Wing in motion here for the Cavemen as play action swings it in. Looks like a late hit penalty coming in against Nusi as well, as this ball was hauled in. Really like a possible first and goal situation for the Cavemen.
Well, it's a completed pass first and foremost, but you're right. Gaisford pays the price, and I think it's a bit of a warranted roughing the passer penalty, as that hit was high. And credit to Gaisford, he pops right back up, and I'm sure he's feeling that, but he's not letting anybody see it. And now that will allow American Fork to have it first and goal to go from the 2-yard line.
All right, the play clock starts here as the Cavemen break the huddle. I guess a no-huddle look from the sideline. 2 wide receivers out to the wide side of the field. Fade route to the corner of the end zone, not able to haul that one in. The pass was intended for Cade Wilkinson, but good coverage there by the DB to make it hard for him.
Yeah, a bit of just kind of a jump ball there. Maybe if Jed Nelson was still here, the big wide receiver from American Fork last year, he might have been able to go up and get that one. Cade Wilkinson, well covered. You like the thought process there, but you've had so much success just short yardage running the ball here. I'd expect that Coach Beam will go back to that.
Yeah, it looks like a handoff inside, fighting for the yardage, falling forward. Ref's going to stop him short of the goal line.
And it looked like American Fork was trying to run a wash play down there, and back just not able to squeeze it backside, as they get a nice job of squeezing on that one and keeping it nice and tight in there. You almost wonder if maybe, Gaisford could pull on that, or any kind of a wildcat package, as you look into the playoffs with Manuela.
Yeah, no worries there. Gaisford, 2 running backs, drops back, heaves it quick at the field. Wide receiver not able to bring that one in. Bring up 4th and 2 for the offense. Close enough for running the ball, but chose to go the air a couple of times. Work out these red zone packages.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily hate the play call there. It's just Gaisford's rushing his mechanics when he feels that pressure, and if he can just stand in there, he's a tough kid. We know he can take a hit. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to convince yourself that you can, and on this one, they're going to go for it on 4th down. This could be a massive stand for Westlake.
Couple tight ends in here on both sides as we see a timeout going to be taken by the Cavemen. We'll take a quick one as well to catch our breath here on the. Welcome back to the KSL Sports Rewind Network. We have a 4th and goal from the 2-yard line for the American Fork Cavemen, trying to punch this into the end zone. Gaisford lined with 2 backs and a tight end in the box. Quick handoff to the side, stretches to the outside. Maiden Jensen able to dance in and split the defense for a touchdown for the American Fork Cavemen.
This is a simple off-tackle play, and I believe it was Madden Jensen was able to take that one in for the Cavemen, and after a bit of worry, they get the touchdown and pull ahead 26-0, pending the PAT here, and no need to go for 2 as you have a comfortable lead right now. And with Lewis necked out there, that's almost an automatic.
3 steps back, 2 steps to the side, connects, comes and pounds it right through the uprights. He's kicking straight off the grass. Great job there by the Caveman kicker. So we now have a 27-point lead here for the Cavemen. Westlake offense showing a spark with the Wildcat formation. Very untimely penalty pushed them out of scoring range as they weren't able to convert the field goal, but could be finding some momentum. Hopefully another positive drive here for the Thunder.
Yeah, and I just wonder how much Westlake has left in them. You only get so many of those breakaway run plays, and Afuvai able to get the big gain, but then it's been those self-inflicted errors all game long that have really hampered this Westlake football team. And on the American Fork side of things, yeah, this defense has bent a couple times, but they've not broken. They've done a phenomenal job of protecting the end zone, and Coach Beam has to be happy about that clean sheet on the scoreboard as they lead 27-0 with 4:49 left to play here in the third.
Yeah, time ticking away, and we'll go fast as Westlake with these Wildcat packages keeps the ball on the ground. Trying out a handful of different players at quarterback, trying to make things happen. We have Lennox behind center. Takes the snap, reads it, hands it off to number 41, bounces to the outside, gets up to the second level, and is able to gain a first down. Well, they gain about 14.
I would love to be able to know who that running back is, but the no-name number 41 able to scamper to the outside and pick up a first down there for Westlake, and that is a fantastic start to this drive, as good a start as they've had all game long, really. And for the Thunder, it's just keep chopping wood in terms of running the ball right now.
Yeah, another look here for Lennox. Wide receiver out very wide. Everyone else close to the line. We get an inside handoff just stuffed again by the Cavemen.
Yeah, and really, Naya hasn't been a threat to run the ball very much off that zone read, and not a whole lot to read anyways. American Fork has done a great job. We haven't talked a lot about that front, but the 3 down linemen, the 3 linebackers, been extremely stout for the Cavemen all game long. Able to,
yeah, just create that chaos. You don't know where those linebackers are going to swarm over to, fill their gaps. Another handoff to number 41. This time able to fall forward for the gain of about 4 yards, bringing up a third, about 7 or 8 to go. Cavemen going to sub out a couple of the defensive linemen, get some fresh bodies to try to make a stop here on third down.
I'll shout out JB and Na, the defensive tackle. He's done a good job replacing the illustrious Wakifuelangi from last season, one of my favorite players to watch.
Lennox takes a low snack, drops back to pass, hit as he was throwing. Tried to get the ball out to number 87, Beckham Featherstone, not able to connect with his tight end.
Yeah, I can't tell if that was Dallin Afu Utuapasi Ululakepa that drilled Lennox Nae on that one, but he heard the footsteps, the ball falls incomplete, and a quick 3 and out. Well, I guess technically 4 and out, as they did get a first down for Westlake.
Yeah, tough to get a ball out into the flats as it is, tougher with a defender in your face. See a big punt here. Different return man, number 8, Christian Hansaw, stays away from it, as we will see the Cavemen offense come out to the field.
Yeah, and nice job by Hanshaw to stay away from that. This American Fork offense will take the field, and they found something that works with that sideline throw. We'll wait and see what happens on this drive, but have to be impressed with the way that David Gaisford's come out here in the second half. And with a rotating quarterback system, you really do have to maximize every rep. And he's done just that here in the second half.
Gaisford, quick handoff up the middle, dive here by the running back. Able to get a gain of about 6 before brought down by a gang of Thunder defenders.
Yeah, Afu got bent over. I mean, kind of an awkward position, a little slow to get up, but for him, it's been one of those kinds of days where your performances come, in terms of peaks and valleys, as he gets a big chunk play there, and this Westlake defense has to be tiring out just a little bit here.
Yeah, it's been a long night for them with a strong run game as Prince of Fu gets the handoff again, diving up the middle for a first down.
Yeah, I love that run from Afu because he's watching and using his blockers to his advantage. Much better vision on that one, not just running for the hole, but actually seeing what's going on in front of him. And he's started to develop more and more as this game has worn on. And for American Fork, this is going to be a playoff team for sure. They'll have to have an outside chance in terms of, and we'll see what happens in the RPI rankings, but
yeah, we have Gaisford swings it out to the outside to David Dean. Nowhere to go. Great coverage there by the Thunder.
Well, I love the competitiveness from Dean on that one, though. It's 1, 2, 3 defenders, and he's still fighting to get yardage. And fortunately, the sideline finally the one to disqualify him, as he never really went down.
No, does a good job trying to fight for the extra yards. The effort is how you break open on big plays like we've seen from Wilkinson earlier tonight. Another hard count there by the Cavemen to get the Westlake defense to jump offsides. Looking around at 6A across the state, we have plenty of games being played tonight. Sky Ridge is up 35 at Pleasant Grove. A tight match between Lone Peak and Lehigh, as it is a 3-point game. Lone Peak 17, Lehigh 14. We had a quick flag on the play there.
Yeah, Gaisford tried to fit in a tight window there with Dean, and on the slant route, the ball falls incomplete, but it looks like from where the flag was thrown, I'm not exactly sure if it was maybe a defensive holding. We'll find out here.
Yeah, we'll see holding going up against the defense. It's tough to catch a ball with a defender dragged on you.
Yeah, so it looked like it was a face mask on that one. That's a 15-yard penalty and another critical mistake, but I think a lot of this is just fatigue starting to set in for Westlake's defense. They've done an admirable job standing strong throughout the game, but just been out there so much and having to carry an offense that just wasn't super productive early on as they tried to find anything that could work.
Gazer swings it out to the outside. That is Cash. Nowhere to go. Defense is sniffing out these throws to the flats.
Yeah, and that one it looked like it took a hop off the turf there. Coming back to Gaisford, he does a nice job of gathering the ball and trying to get it out there, but nothing there for Cash as he's swallowed up by that Westlake defense.
Yeah. I've seen Gaisford have a couple hard throws out to that wide side of the field. You see here the quarterback drops back to pass, surveys the field, rips it down. David Dean not able to bring it in, but the contact maybe came too early from the DB.
Yeah, definitely too early there. Over the top, trying to get through the receiver to knock the ball away, and just too much contact. And Dean just does a great job of adjusting, trying to catch that one. This American Fork wide receiver core is really impressive. Just trying to find that rhythm with Gaisford, and it feels like they've started to develop something here in the second half, Nate. And like I said, this is a team that's looking to make the playoffs for Westlake. This one may be just enough to keep them on the outside looking in. We'll have to wait and see how the RPI falls, but
see the ball getting spotted towards the left side of the hash. Gaisford lines up again. Two wide receivers out to the short side of the field. Quick hands off to Prince of Fu. Cuts it back. Fights for yards. Get about a gain of 3 or 2 on the play.
And that should be about enough here in the third quarter as we'll flip sides. And for the American Fork Cavemen, it's been a demonstrative third quarter as they put up 14 points, Nate, and really established themselves here.
Yeah, it looks like we have a timeout on the field. Let me step away for a quick minute as well. Welcome back to KSL Sports Rewind Network. We have the fourth quarter coming out. Cavemen are up 27. Westlake still not able to get on the scoreboard. Man in motion. Gaisford hands it off. Coming up the field is Madden Jensen. And gain of about 2. Bringing up 3rd and 6 for the Cavemen. Heading north on the field. We've seen them stall out in this position early in the game. See if they've been able to come over those woes. Thunder defense stays disciplined on the hard count. Gaisford takes the snap, drops back, wings it to the sideline to Wilkinson. Not able to connect there.
Yeah, but there may have been something going on in that one. In the battle between Wilkinson and Finn Maurer, that one's going to go in favor of Wilkinson as there's a penalty flag there at the 25-yard line. I think they're going to get Finn on the hold. And listen, that's not me being critical of Finn Maurer. He's played a whale of a game today. But unfortunately, he's been out there a lot, and he's going up against one of the better wide receivers in the region, if not maybe even the state. Cade Wilkinson has been very impressive tonight.
Yeah, we've seen him break a couple big tackles to be able to break off some monster plays here, so maybe in Maurer's best interest to hold on to him and not let him in the end zone again. Trips to the short side of the field. Gaze looks at it, sees his man streaking across the field. That's 26, tight end Dyson Richards. Great job there for the numbers on that side of the field and making a play.
Yeah, Dyson Richards, just a junior, but makes a nice catch there. And the family bloodlines, if you recognize the number and the name, his father played wide receiver at the University of Utah. One of the better ones to do it. And for a young wide receiver group at American Fork, there is a lot of depth and talent in this group.
First and goal for the Cavemen. Gaisford lines up the fade. Hits the hand of Wilkinson. Maurer able to break it up. Incomplete.
Well, I know UFC was here last week, but the real fight is going on between Cade Wilkinson and Finn Maurer. It is blow after blow for each one of these two, and it's the kind of competition that you love to see. Two great players back and forth. Wilkinson gets the last one, and Wilkinson gets the one previous. Maurer gets the last one there as he's able to knock the ball loose. And for American Fork, I'm trying to get a touchdown here.
Gaisford fakes the handoff, drops back with Fano in his face, nowhere to go. Tosses it into the dirt for 3rd and goal for the Cavemen.
You know, I've seen Westlake now for 3 games, and this is by far the best I've seen Saleh Fano play. He's really started to develop, and this is a team that has a lot of talent. They just haven't been able to stay disciplined and play in rhythm. And you know, I think when you're a program, and I talk about this a lot, I know, trying to build culture, those are the 2 things you really have to try and grasp and develop as quickly as possible.
Gaisford surveys the field, wings it to the wide receiver. David Dean hauls it in. Number 80. Gaisford had a lot of targets in the red zone, or in the end zone. Wings it out to David Dean.
Well, you're Dean if you do or Dean if you don't. It doesn't matter who you try to cover for this American Fork offense. Someone out there is going to make a play, and it just happened to be David Dean on that one as he gets into the end zone and brings that one down for 6.
Yeah, we like to see Gaisford, when he looks comfortable, is able to deliver a beautiful ball to where only the wide wide receiver can catch it. We do have a little change of pace at kicker. Sean Caron's able to kick this PAT. Able to put 7 on the board for the Cavemen. Fourth quarter puts the Cavemen up 34. Westlake still trying to get on the board here. Looks like we may see some new faces on both sides of the ball as we see both teams trying to get reps out there for the underclassmen.
And at this point in the season, Nate, it is a lot about the development of the guys who will be back to play next season. And, you know, you also want to reward those guys who have worked hard all year with some varsity reps. And, you know, 10:36 to play, the score 34-0, so running clock not in play, which means there should be plenty of guys with an opportunity to play. And we'll see how this one closes out. But for Westlake, it's try and get something started if you can.
This ball returnable for the Thunder, trying to bounce it to the outside. This is Britton Johnson, met at the 30-yard line by the coverage team.
And a nice return by the young Johnson. It was Britton Johnson, no relation to the basketball player, I believe. Able to get a good return, and there's also a penalty flag out here at the 24-yard line, Nate. And I don't know which way this one is going to go. It looked like it was a Westlake player that ended upside down on the ground. We'll see what the call is.
Holding against Westlake ends up being the call. First down. He's going to push back. Push back this offense. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Westlake having a hard time staying out of their own way tonight.
They've had a lot of adversity in front of them, but it's been the mental errors that have really hurt them the most. As we see a player late to the field and just not able to get everything on the same page tonight.
Yeah, handoff up the middle, diving through. 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. Short gain there by the Thunder.
That counterplay has been very effective for them all game long. Whether the 5 or the 15-yard gains, they've done a lot off of it. And, you know, for American Fork, as they look to go in the playoffs, that's something to work on. Why is it that we struggle so much against that particular play? But really, there's not a lot else to be critical of this defensive unit for American Fork. They've been outstanding all game long.
Lennox handoff to the outside. That's number 49. Not on the Thunder roster, being brought down for another gain of 2. Trying to push the ball down the field. 2 positive, small but positive plays for the Thunder. Lennox drops back to pass. Looks like someone moved early. Defense jumped off sides, trying to get after the quarterback. Pete, 3rd down. Should be 3rd and 1 for the Thunder offense.
Yeah, a bit of frustration there for the American Fork defense as the penalty comes on, but they've otherwise been terrific tonight.
Looks like we see the Wildcat package coming out with Dreisen taking the snap. I believe this is possibly going to be a direct snap to the left or direct snap to the right. Dreisen runs to the short side of the field to the right, fights for the yardage, gets the first down. The pile is moving and falls out of bounds.
Boy, what an effort there by, I believe, Dreisen Afuvai, as he just keeps those Lamborghinis moving and able to pick up the first down. Just a great team effort there as well. You see Saleh Fano in there to block, and for this Westlake unit, as Nusi Talmapeo takes over as the Wildcat, it's truly been a team effort offensively to try and get something working.
Yeah, I'll have to get an eye on the number of the fullback. That's a tough position to play all night, leading blocks in the hole. Nusi finding a bit of an edge there for a positive gain as he gets pushed out of bounds after about 7. Flag down on the field, possible holding. Quick holding against Westlake. He's going to push him back after what would have been positive yardage. Runs to the outside, tough to get in that right position to seal off the defenders.
And just one of those plays that you wish you could have back for this Westlake Thunder offense. It feels like there have been a lot of those tonight.
Nusi lined up in this Wildcat look again. Yeah, take the snap and go to his left. Fullback not able to catch anybody for him, but he's breaking loose. He's getting yardage. He's still marching down the field and pushed out after a gain of 50. Backed up by over 10 yards past the original line of scrimmage. Great job there by Nusi.
It is, and so much about high school football is getting the ball in the hands of your athletes, and putting Nusi out there at the Wildcat player has been a great move by Coach Ale and his staff, as they've really had to dig deep and figure something out here. The backup quarterback situation has not gone how they expected, and we see Dreisen Afuvai come back out as they keep working at it.
Dreisen takes the snap, takes it up to the left side of the field again, breaks free, is dancing, tries to make a cut. Brought down by the shoelaces. Westlake is in the red zone for another first down. Trying to get that goose egg off the board. Great momentum here from the Wildcat package.
See, a lot of it is just grit and determination, staying in the fight for this Westlake Thunder offense. This one, I think it's safe to say, is for the most part out of reach, barring some sort of monumental comeback, but we don't want to call this one too early.
Ooh, some movement before the snap here. Looks like an encroachment by the defense. Westlake doing a good job making a change here. So we see some new faces on the Cavemen defense, eager to get out there after the first half. Too eager and jumped off sides.
And that's one of those downsides for the American Fort defense of multiple players and cadences, is you don't have that ability to get used to whatever the quarterback's trying to do. And for the Westlake Thunder, that's an advantage that they can continue to work. We see Dreisen Afuvai out there leading this offense into the red zone.
Able to get him back to back. This one will actually be a false start against Westlake, doing too well on the hard count, getting their own line to jump off sides here.
We don't get an update up here in the booth on penalties, but I feel like it would be a painful day for Coach Ale and his staff. They've had a lot of those kinds of miscues that have taken away opportunities and advantages. And credit to American Fork for being the more disciplined team in this one.
Drexen throws it up. Key to the pass to number 87. Hauled it in there by the big tight end. Great job there, Drayson. The Wildcat actually puts it up in the air. Gets Westlake on the board. I think they were saving that one all evening.
They may have waited just a little too long to save that one, but what a job by Drexen Alfuvai to find Beckham Featherstone in the end zone, and the big tight end, defensive end, Mr. Do Everything, gets 6 for the Westlake Thunder.
Yeah, great job by Featherstone at tracking that ball and haul it in. Because the Wildcat balls aren't always the prettiest, but they count just the same. We have Lorenzo Augusto able to push through that PAT for 7 points for the Westlake Thunder. We see American Fork, some of the underclassmen on defense on that play, be able to get some teachable reps in there and some luxury for the Cavemen to be able to kind of continue to develop the program this late in the game.
For Westlake, situationally, you have to think that there's going to be some sort of at least thought or maybe attempt for an onside here. Or maybe you just hope that your defense has one more stop in them as they're trying to claw their way back into this game.
Yeah, we have Gabe Contreras set to kick this one away, and he just booms it down the field. Looks like it will be returned by the Cavemen, marching it down straight up the middle. Brings it up to the 26-yard line. Cade Wilkinson able to get a decent amount of extra yardage on the play. Some extra field position here. We see Kapono Menueta behind center in the gun. Kapono takes the snap, hands it off inside. Swallowed up by the defense. Number 31, Dallas Go Kirks. Able to get a gain of 2 on the play.
And that clock ticks down, and that's really what American Fork wants more than anything, is we get 6 minutes and under here left in the fourth quarter. And for the Cavemen, it's about trying to milk the clock while possessing the football.
Kapono takes the snap again, hands it off to the right side, swallowed up quickly. Dallas Gokirks had nowhere to go.
And we talk about it, it's so simple. Just hang on to the ball, try and possess it. But the hard part is you also got to get a first down. And this Westlake Thunder defense standing tall right here. They've been out on the field a lot this game, but still fighting, wanting to get one more stop here.
Kapono with a bunch out to his left. Takes the snap, drops back, surveys the field, scrambles it up. The pocket swallows him. Number 13, Saleh Fano wraps him up in the backfield, forcing a fourth down.
Yeah, it's been a great game for Saleh Fano, and they've really competed hard defensively, but this fourth down comes, and it looks like American Fork will punt this one away. The question becomes, what does Westlake's 2-minute offense look like? As we saw Drayson Afuvai throw a pass. I don't know if that's the only pass they have right now, but we'll see what Coach Ale and his staff have up their sleeve as they try to fight their way back into this one.
Yeah, Lennox has tried to air it out a couple of times as well, but has not had as much success as they were hoping for. Punt here for the Cavemen. Drops it out of the 45-yard line. Favorable rollout for him. He picked up at the 34.
And for the Thunder, they'll take over here at the 34 as Britton Johnson let that one bounce. And the offense comes back out on the field. It looks like it's going to be Afuvai at the, I don't know if we call it the Wildcat or the quarterback position at this point. Now that he's thrown a touchdown, I think he gets the QB.
Yeah, signal caller here. Yes, has been able to sling it down the field. Drayson breaks the huddle. See it wrapped up. We have a late flag coming out here. Newsy's trying to get to those outside. Those defenders having a hard time sealing off their blocks as we possibly have another hold.
And for Nate, who's not been here on the broadcast with me all season long, the phrase that Alex has given me is love and positivity. Anytime there's a flag or a hold, I just tell people offensive linemen are just loving guys. They just want to give people hugs.
Trying to get as much one-on-one time as they can with the defender.
Yeah, listen, those are big guys. They got a lot of love inside them. They just want to share the love, and they tell people all the time, you gotta make sure you have permission to do that. And on that one, just a little too much love coming out of the big dog, and it's going to back up this Westlake Thunder offense substantially. In fact, with the way that they marked that one off, it looks like it was more than just a hold. That may have been a personal foul, a 15-yard penalty, and that really penalizes any chance that Westlake had of coming back in this one.
Yeah, pushes him out. Here's Drayson's lined up again. Takes the snap, goes to the short side of the field, wrapped up quickly, falls forward for a gain of 4.
Yeah, it's a nice job by Afuvai. And again, this offensive line seems to have found some rhythm here as they continue to get small chunk yardage. There's 3 or 4 yards of play, but they've done a good job. And this American Fork defense, my hat's off to them. They competed their tails off all game long, it would seem.
Yeah, American Fork rotating in some new defenders to keep it fresh. Newsy takes a snap to the right side, has the power, has the angle, has one safety behind him. Is so fast, no one is going to catch him. Newsy is going to go untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Thunder.
You can see the speed, the vision, as he takes it off the edge there on the counter and has nothing but open field for a touchdown. Nusi Taumapeu.
What a weapon there for Westlake to take advantage of here late in the game. Another touchdown here late. So we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Looks like the refs are gonna talk this one over. Looks like the touchdown will stand here, and here comes the PAT team for the Thunder.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on over there on the sideline. Maybe just a discussion about yardage markers, who knows. Here we go.
Yeah, great job there for Westlake to respond after that personal foul, pushing him back deep. Newsy's able to look like Division I talent on the big run.
And you can see just his athleticism on display. He's played linebacker, played on defense all year long, and you have to wonder if Coach Troy Taylor and the rest of the Stanford Cardinal are watching tonight and thinking, you know, he might look good at running back, fullback, maybe even our own little Wildcat package for Newsy.
Lorenzo Augusto able to punch through another PAT, putting up 14 points on the board for the Thunder. Ooh. 2 minutes and 31 seconds left on the clock of the fourth quarter. Here on Thursday night, KSL Sports Rewind Network. Penalty was applied to the kickoff as we have an extra 5 yards for the Westlake coverage team. Cade Wilkinson back deep to return. As we see an onside kick here, bounce off the hands team. Cavemen able to hold on to it. Great job there. I believe number 35, Gunnar Michaels, holds on to it and gives great field position for Capono and the Cavemen offense.
Yeah, and this really is the last chance for Westlake. They need to get a stop here. If they need to get the ball back, still have all 3 timeouts. Well, 2 timeouts, I should say.
Quarterback hands it off inside. Who's met up in the hole by the linebacker. Great play there by the Westlake defense. Everyone's slow to get up after that car crash in the backfield.
And who else but number 11 in there on the tackle? Looks like Drayson Ufuvai out there as well. He hobbles off the field a little injured on that one, and not surprising, he has done a lot tonight.
Yeah, he came flying in the hole for the tackle for loss. Love the effort. Hope he bounces back quickly. Capono hands it off again inside, keeping the ball on the ground, fighting for additional yards there. Came in and brought down after a gain of 5.
And for American Fork, as they get to 3rd down here, they need to get a pickup. And believe that Westlake will start using their timeouts after this play.
We'll see. We see a handful of different faces on the defense for Westlake as well. Fono takes the snap, hands it off inside again. That is 31. The senior Dallas Gokurts not able to make it to the first down, bringing out the Cavemen punt team.
And I guess Westlake is just content to get the ball back as they don't use a timeout there. Either that or else the scoreboard is wrong and they don't have 2 timeouts left.
Timeouts could be available here. We have 30 seconds left on the clock, and school tomorrow, Brian. It may be in their best interest just to keep everybody well rested for another day of learning. Big Caveman punt is away. Bounces away from the return man. The coverage team stops this one on the 11-yard line.
16.5 on the clock. The good news is American Fork will walk off tonight with a victory in hand, and convincing one at that. While the score doesn't necessarily indicate it, this one was in hand for the Cavemen from start to finish. All-time performance, not all-time, but a great performance from all sides of the team as we saw plays made on offense, defense, and special teams for the Cavemen.
Looks like we have Lennox going to break the huddle again here, possibly try to feel out, airing out this ball 1 or 2 more times, depending on how quickly he can get this out. Looks like just a quick handoff to number 41, and they're just going to let this one roll and live to fight another day. Ooh. as this one wraps it up, we have the Cavemen 34, Westlake able to get 14 points here in the fourth quarter, lining up at the 50-yard line. Thanks so much for being out here with me tonight, Brian. What's your takeaway for the evening?
Well, it was a fun game, a great night spent here on a Thursday night out at American Fork. Thank you to the Cavemen players, coaches, staff, and administration for letting us come out and broadcast. It's always a pleasure to be here. And for me, I think the bigger standout was Cade Wilkinson, my player of the game, Nate. He was the engine tonight. So many plays made via extra effort and just tough competition that caused this one to go in the favor of the Cavemen. And for me, Cade Wilkinson was that guy.
Yeah, I love to see the energy from Cade Wilkinson and the explosive capabilities. We'll give everybody back their evening. Again, thanks to everyone and the Rewind crew. Have a good night from American Fork.